welcome to this Design Cuts video tutorial. Today we're looking at installing brush tool presets into Photoshop. Now these are a little bit different to the regular brushes that you get for Photoshop. Most of the regular brushes come as ABR files and they're installed a different way and they're used a little bit differently. They're sort of stamp brushes. They're more likely to be shapes that you actually sort of stamp onto an image than brushes per se. Today we're looking at tool presets, so let's have a look at the brushes that I'll be installing. These are Cartoonist brushes, version 1.4 by Alex Ducal. And when we have a look at the description down here, you'll see that you're getting TPL files. This is a brush preset file, and they're installed a little bit differently, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at it on the PC and look at it on the Mac. But before we start, let's consider some issues in installing these presets. When you install presets into Photoshop, there are three possible methods. Method 1 is quick and easy, but it's not robust. If you reset your preferences or reset the presets themselves, you may lose the tool presets from the tool presets panel. Now that's going to happen pretty much in any instance. The problem with method number 1 is that you may not know where your presets were, making it difficult to reinstall them once you've reset your Photoshop preferences. Now, resetting your Photoshop preferences is often the first solution that's suggested if you have problems with Photoshop. People go, oh, reset your preferences and then try again. Well, resetting your preferences could end up with making it difficult for you to find your presets to reinstall, and method 1 is not recommended. I am going to show it to you, however. Method 2 is relatively easy and it's robust. There's the same problem if you reset your preferences or reset the presets, you might lose these. But installing them again is going to be relatively easy because we're going to put these presets in a place that's going to be easy to find them. I'm going to show you method 2 as well as method 1. Method 3 is not so easy because it requires a knowledge of your operating system. The presets would be installed in what is generally a hidden location on either the Mac or the PC. It is, however, a very robust method of installing the presets, but again, your presets might be lost if you reset your Photoshop preferences, but installing them again is going to be very, very easy. Now, we're not going to do that in this video because a knowledge of your operating system is required. But if you're relatively techie, then the locations that you need to install the TPL brush presets are in the description below. So you can just go and drop the presets into that location, follow along with the rest of the video, and you're going to be off and running. We're going to look at methods 1 and 2, and we're going to do it first on a Windows computer, and then we'll swing across to the Mac and see how to do it there. Before you can install any presets, you'll need to download them. Most of them will download as zip files. On a Windows computer, you'll go to your Downloads folder and double-click the zip file and then choose to extract all the contents. On a Mac, once you've downloaded the zip file to your Downloads folder, you can simply double-click on the zip file and it should be automatically expanded for you. Then you'll swing across to Photoshop to install your presets. Now, following the instructions, this is what we'll do. We'll choose Window and then Tool Presets. We'll make sure that this option, Current Tool Only, is disabled. And then open the flyout menu and make sure that Sort by Tool is also disabled. You can select Show All Tool Presets, and a small list is probably the best option. Then we'll choose Load Tool Presets. In this case, we'll go to the Downloads folder and then to the subfolder that will have been created when we unzip the zip file. Inside here are the Cartoonist brushes. We're going to install the cross-hatching preset, so I'll select those and then click Load. If you see this dialog, you're going to click Load as Tools, and they'll be loaded to the Tool Preset panel. Now, doing it this way, choosing Load Tools rather than Replace Tool Presets, ensures that the new tools are added to any presets that you already have and doesn't replace them, and I think that's important. But as I said, there are some problems because the tool presets that we just added were in the Downloads folder and they're not anywhere specific to Photoshop. So here is what I think is the better option. I think the better option is to go to your Downloads folder and to locate the presets that you want to install. So I'm going to take a different set of presets this time. I'll select the splatters and I'll copy them by right-clicking and choosing Copy. Now you could copy multiples at a time, so you could install all of these in the one place at one time. And then we'll go to our C drive. So I have my computer showing here. I'll go to my C drive and I'm going to navigate through my C drive. I'm going to start with Program Files and then go to Adobe. And then I'll pick up the folder that matches the version of Photoshop that I'm currently using, and that is Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. So I'll double click on that to open it, and then we'll go to Presets. And finally, we'll go to Tools, and this is where we'll save our tool presets. So I'll right click and choose Paste, and this will paste in that set of splatter presets that I just copied across. Now, once that's done, you can see that your presets are now stored in an Adobe Photoshop CC 2019 folder, making it easier to find them should you lose them, for example, in resetting your Photoshop preferences. So let's swing across to Photoshop. We'll again go to the flyout menu. All these options are selected or deselected as we discussed earlier. We'll go to Load Tool Presets. And this time we'll navigate to that same folder. So I'm going back up to the C drive. I'm going to Program Files and then Adobe. Pick up the version of Photoshop that I'm installing these presets into. Go to Presets and then go to Tools. And here are our splatters. So I'll click on them and click Load. I'll load them as tools, and they'll appear in the bottom of the Tool Presets panel. We haven't lost any of the presets that we previously had installed. These have just been added to the Presets panel. So that is method 2, and it's the method that I suggest that most people will want to opt for. If you're using method 3, then you'll place your TPL files in the location shown in the description below, and then just go and load them using this load option, just finding them in that hidden location prior to loading them into Photoshop. I'm here on the Mac, and in my Downloads folder is the zip file that I downloaded. I'll double click on it to expand the zip file so that we can get access to the contents. Now I'll swing over to Photoshop so that I can install the tool presets, Window and then Tool Presets. I'll make sure that Current Tool Only is disabled. Make sure that Sort by Tool is also disabled. And then I'll go to Load so that I can add some tool presets to the list without replacing the existing one. To the Downloads folder, I'll go and locate the folder that now contains my brush presets and then select the presets to install. I'll choose the AD splatters and click Open. I'm going to load these as tools as I did on the PC, and they're now going to appear in the bottom of the Tool Presets panel. As I said, that's method 1, and it's not really the method that I recommend. So let's see how the method I recommend would work. I'm going to quit Photoshop. I'll locate the Photoshop icon on my dock and hold the Control key as I click on it. That opens a Finder window at the location where this particular version of Photoshop is installed, CC 2019. This is the application. I don't want that, but I do want the Presets folder. And inside the Presets folder, I want to locate the Tools folder. This is where our TPL files go. So let's go and grab the cross-hatching ones and we'll just move them across. I need to type in my Mac password as I do that. This is, I think, the better way of installing presets. This is method 2. So I can close down those windows now and go and open Photoshop. Once Photoshop is open, even though I've located my TPL files, they won't be installed yet. We'll need to go to the Tool Presets panel, which of course we can get to from the Windows menu. Click the flyout menu, choose Load Tool Presets. and then navigate to the location where those TPL files were installed. That's going to be in Applications, and then we'll locate the folder appropriate to the version of Photoshop that we're using. For me, that's Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. Double-click the folder to open it, go to Presets, and then go to Tools, which is at the top here because it's been modified. Inside the tools, we'll find the cross-hatching TPL file. I'll select it and click Open. I'll import these as tools, and they'll now appear at the very bottom of the Tool Preset panel. So that's method 2 for installing TPL brush preset files in Photoshop on the Mac, and that's my recommended method if you're not an operating system guru. Now that you've installed the tool presets, the question becomes, how do you actually use them? I'm going to create a brand new document here in Photoshop, and I have black as my foreground color, white as my background color. To get access to the tool presets, window and then tool presets. And of course, this is going to be the same on the Mac as it is on the PC. And you can go to any one of these presets, click on it, and you'll see that Photoshop automatically goes to the appropriate tool, which is the brush tool. And then you can just paint on the image using these presets, and you'll get different effects. Now, a lot of these presets will work better perhaps if you're using a Wacom tablet, for example, but I'm just using a mouse and I could quite easily add effects to my images using these tool presets and using my mouse. So that's how you access these tool presets once they've been installed in Photoshop, either on the PC as I'm showing here or on the Mac. I hope that you've enjoyed learning how to install Photoshop presets. Let us know what you think in the comments below and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, I'm Helen Bradley for Design Cuts.